Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Big Blue, and we're here. We're back with another video. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. As always, go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit that bell. This one's going to be from Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk teaches girl what responsibility is. Let's go ahead and get right into it.
Hi, Charlie. I see you on TikTok all the time.
You were getting fired up there.
Yes, I was because, okay, I just want to start this out. I am unaffiliated, but I am a Christian who believes in the right to an abortion. And a lot of the things that you were talking about with her, I really had a lot of answers for that. So the reason I actually wrote this down on a notebook, of course, I was prepared. So the reason why I believe the right to an abortion, why just anyone, if you feel that's what you need to do, then you should do it. Because Matthew 7:1 says, do not judge or you too will be judged.
Okay, let me let her finish.
Although Jesus does tell us to tell people, do not sin, it's not our place to judge them.
That's not what... No.
No. And then another thing that I wanted to bring up, this is crazy, but also the time, I just really want to know why you feel that abortion should be illegal.
Do you think murder should be illegal?
Murder is illegal.
So you think it should be? Do you think it should be illegal?
I just feel like there's a big difference between like a living, breathing human and then a fetus that is inside of another human's body.
Fair enough. What is the difference?
The difference is a fetus is inside of the body. You know what I'm saying? Like a fetus, it can't live on its own.
Got it. So let's go through a couple questions there.
Okay.
Why does somebody's location determine their moral worth?
It doesn't, but it's simply about the fact of if you feel like that's what you need to do with your body, then that's what you do. Because I could also
Well, hold on a second. If it's not your DNA, how is it your body?
It is your DNA.
No, it's not.
It's a part of you. It's growing in you. It's connected to you by an umbilical cord. It is a part of you.
1 second. It's attached.
A part.
It's attached. Hold on a second. It's attached, not a part.
Same thing.
No, it's actually not. A part, by definition, means it remains permanent.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Oh, okay.
So an attachment is something that is temporary. And so it's not. You are not your mom's DNA. You're not your dad's DNA. You are new deoxyribonucleic acid. So shouldn't we say that if it's not your DNA, it's not your choice?
I mean, you could say that, but I mean, really, I just don't understand how you can use religion to back up your point of...
I haven't used it once. She brought up religion. I'm happy to use a non-religious line of questioning. We all agree murder is wrong.
Okay.
We all agree that it's a human Homo sapien.
Do you agree that the death penalty is wrong?
Well, no, I'm actually in support of the death penalty because people do something that justifies that, but that's a separate issue because the baby in utero did not go...
So what about the people who could possibly be proved innocent who have been awaiting their death sentence?
Fair enough. That's a good argument, but it's separate, right? So there's been about 31 exonerations of posthumous people that have been exonerated of the death penalty. We're talking about a baby that did nothing wrong except exist.
Okay.
In utero, and there's about 1.5 million of them that just get discarded every year. So we agree murder is wrong. We agree it's a Homo sapien, meaning it's a human being. Therefore, murder is the forcible termination of a Homo sapien. Therefore, shouldn't abortion be wrong and illegal?
I still feel like it really, like, okay, for example...
But prove to me why. You use an ABC logical equation, right? So tell me under what standard, therefore, very simple, right? You're in college, you guys do this all the time, right? I hope so. So use an ABC,
Probably not.
right? Aristotelian logic, whatever you want to use. Use an ABC sequence for me.
My reasoning why I believe that abortion should be legal is because of instances like rape and incest, but I already know that your belief on that because you've already stated that if your daughter were to be raped at 10 years old, you would make her give birth to the baby.
Well, the baby would be delivered, and let me tell you why. And so, but first of all, let me try to find common ground.
Okay.
If I say we will make rape and incest abortions legal and get rid of all the other abortions, would you agree with that?
Can you repeat that? I'm so sorry.
If I say that we will allow abortions to continue for rape and incest life of the mother, but all other abortions should be illegal, which is 99.4% of the time, can we make those 99% of abortions illegal?
Yeah, see, I don't believe that abortion should be used as a form of birth control.
So 99% of the time it is. That's all that we're debating in the country right now. So Charlie Kirk's position is a very fringe minority. People are talking about still exceptions. So we should get rid of 99% of abortions.
Yes, but at the same time,
So you're actually not that pro-choice, actually.
but I am, because I feel like there's no way to kind of divide the basis of like what abortion is being used as birth control and what abortion
Oh,
is
it's
being
totally
used.
easy, actually. I mean, so you could tell through a DNA test if it's an incest baby. You could tell if it's rape because they have to file a police report. And you could tell life of the mother based on an OBGYN analysis. So that's,
Okay, so
it's
then
a
if
very,
it's that easy, then why have we not done that?
Oh, because the American people don't support it. Because abortion is popularly supported as a form of birth control. That's why. So your position is actually a very rational one, and I'm for it. 99% of all abortions are done just because people want the baby gone. 99%. That's not Charlie Kirk's numbers. That's the Guttmacher Institute, which was funded by Planned Parenthood.
Okay. So do you like feel as though like people who are victims of rape and incest, do you think that they should be able to get an abortion?
So just so we can agree on the 99%, then I'm going to try to win you over on the other percent.
Okay.
Got it. So we're good on the 99? Get rid of those abortions?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Somebody in this audience was conceived in rape. Can you tell me who?
Nope.
Nah.
Why? I thought that they're less human.
Those words never came out of my mouth.
No, I know, but the insinuation of allowing rape for abortion is that they're not as human, therefore they should be murdered.
No, that's not the. It's
But
more.
then-
It's more about the mental toll that it would take on the mother to
Oh,
have
I
that
totally
baby.
acknowledge the mental toll, but shouldn't the human being conceived in rape still get human rights?
Yes, but it should be more up to the mother who has to carry the baby and who has to push it.
Well, hold on. Let's
you know?
play that out. So even though the mom has to push it, do you still have a right to terminate somebody? Can you take away human rights if your life's going to get difficult to somebody else? If somebody else is making your life difficult, can you take away their human rights?
No, but at the same time, that's where like the question comes in, that it should be up between the person, like the.
But why? By what
patient and their
standard is that
doctor.
okay? For example, if a single mom has 2 kids and all of a sudden she loses her job and one of the kids is super annoying and has a learning disability, should she be able to murder that kid because it's an inconvenience to her?
No.
No, of course not.
Not after like.
But why is it that all of a sudden you get considered a human being after birth, but before birth you're not?
Because after birth you can, you're kind of living on your own. You're not in the mother's body.
No, you're not. Hold on. I have a 6-month-old. My baby is not living on its own.
Not living on its own, but it can breathe on its own.
Hold on a second. Over 500,000 babies every year are born in NICU, which require, which is a prenatal assistance, breathing assistance, digestive assistance, and so are they not human because they can't have any viability? The point is that the standard doesn't apply, right? Let me ask you one more hypothetical, and it's a good question. I'll do a Christian one because you say you're a Christian on that. I have 2 ultrasounds. One ultrasound is a baby that was conceived in rape. The other ultrasound is a baby conceived in a loving
Can you tell the difference?
relationship. Which one is which?
There's no like that.
There's
like
no
I've
difference,
said
you're
multiple
right.
times, there's no difference in the physical appearance of it, but the complete difference is the mental toll that it would take on
No,
the mother
for
and
sure,
the
but
person who has to carry the baby for 9 months.
Hold on. Let's be clear. There's a mental toll when you have an abortion too. So it's not as if it's a get out of jail
No,
card.
I completely
So
understand that.
it's a tough, difficult, horrible
Yeah.
situation. But shouldn't we be that the worst outcome after an evil is to just murder the being? Yeah,
No.
why punish the
I didn't
baby
even think about- I
for
didn't
the
think about
crime
it
of
like
some
that.
guy that raped the mother? Why all of a sudden have 2 victims unnecessarily?
Well, okay, let's say the mother who is raped births the baby. What if she hates the baby? Like, what if she just
Well,
cannot care for the
there-
baby? Like, what if the baby comes out and she hates the baby because she got raped?
Well,
Like, and that's the only reason
there
why-
are 2 million.
And the interesting thing about that is that this very same situation can apply and will apply more so with those that have abortions. Because if we think about it, if over, I don't know if it's not, he said 93% or let's say even if it's 80%, over 80% of the abortions are by choice and not necessarily the situations that she's saying where it's rape and incest. If we think about it, that means that there is more likely that there are women who get an abortion, like Charles had mentioned, will have the mental toll, thus putting it out on their later kids. Because a lot of the times people choose to get abortions, they end up having kids later on. Who says that mental toll isn't going to affect the later kid? So in that same sense, it's bad situations nonetheless. And I think now I'm really starting to get why in the Haitian community, I mean, in many communities, but especially in the Haitian communities, they tend to keep women secure and protected they could have, had a little more emotion behind it. But the reason that they hold them so secure and don't allow women to do things and like go out and stuff like that is to avoid these situations where you're having to make this type of decision. Of course, you can't protect anybody from absolutely everything. You can't protect women from absolutely everything, but they do as much as they can to protect them as much as they can, which means there's a decrease in you getting attacked and raped in public if you don't go out by yourself. And at the same token, there's a very low chance in their mind of women not getting pregnant if you don't talk to boys, if we don't let you go out with boys and stuff like that. Which, if you're looking at them 24/7, then yeah, that's true. Of course, they're going to find their ways. But that's just a mindset when it comes, because women are held they're so preciously, because they are the ones that are vulnerable when it comes to these type of situations. So it's like, it's kind of hard on the women on both ends. But once again, if we're going based off of numbers, there's going to be more mental trauma happening to the women, to those that have the abortions, rather than those that are raped and incest, because there are very few numbers, record shows, of that happening. So, I mean, if that's the case, then we should probably, do something about it.
Families right now waiting to adopt children.
Okay.
So put it up for adoption. There are 2
All
million
right.
loving families that can't find kids.
I just find that very interesting because the adoption process is actually very difficult in America.
It is difficult. We can make it easier, but again, the issue is that there is a demand of families that want the babies.
Okay, and my last question that you had started to answer, but you didn't answer what you said you were going to, was why, if your daughter were to be impregnated by rape, why would you force her to have the baby?
Well, first of all, because we don't murder in our family.
Okay.
Would you murder in your family?
No, but at the same time, I've done a little bit of research, and I just wanted to let you know that the chance of a 10-year-old surviving giving birth, and her baby,
the full question was if...
is below 10%. So in reality, if you want your child to have a baby at 10 years old,
you're interrupting.
You're not pro-birth. You're not pro-life. You're pro-birth.
Okay, again, to be very clear, I said if there was no issue with the mother's health. And understand, this is an extreme, hyper-personal example that someone used, and I'm happy to own it, but let's just be clear. Why is that example getting people so fired up? Because it's easy to say that you can murder a baby if it's small and that it's just, quote-unquote, a clump of cells.
No, I think that one instance got people so fired up because the age of your daughter, and just because of the likelihood that she would survive and the baby would survive.
No, my answer was that if there were no medical complications. So that you don't even remember the full answer. People get why does the age matter? Tell me why all of a sudden the age of the carrier matters.
Because that improves the infant mortality rate. Like the older you are, the more likely you are to be able to carry a baby to term.
No, I know, but
the younger you are, the higher the infant and mother mortality rate goes.
I said with no other medical issues though. But why? I'm curious though.
Because with age comes medical issues with birth.
I said with no other medical issues though. So you have to understand the preface there. I want to understand though. Maybe you can help me understand why the women of America are so
back there?
Enthusiastic about the right to be able to kill preborn babies. Help me understand.
I think it's more of just the ability to be able to do what you feel is necessary
Bingo.
for your body.
I think that's right. It's narcissism. It is weaponized medical narcissism. I'm in charge of the world.
No, I'm in charge of my body. Not in charge of the world, but of my body.
Makes sense. So even though it's not your body and it's a different body in you, I'm the most important thing in the world. And that makes sense because you just connected the dots. We have the most narcissistic female generation in history, and abortion is the culmination in that. Thank you.
So, I know there's going to be plenty of people that disagree with that idea, but that last statement that he said, I know there's going to be plenty of people that disagree. But do I want to use narcissism? I don't know if I want to use narcissism. This is probably like the lowest form of narcissism, but again, I wouldn't use that term specifically. But I think there's definitely that care of self and lack of accountability and lack of self-control, to where this is one of those situations where you choose to do something that holds a lot of responsibility at the wrong time. and then you try to get rid of the consequences. This is one of those chances where you're able to get rid of the consequences of the action that you chose, knowing of what could happen by doing whatever said thing is. I don't know anybody that goes into having sex and doesn't think, oh, I'm not going to get pregnant, or doesn't think that, or doesn't know that sex leads to having a baby. I don't think there's any female that goes into that. Do they think with their head and think, if I do this, I might get pregnant and then decide not to do it? No. But I mean, you live, you learn type situation. But I don't know of any other situation in which a female is able to get rid of said consequences as abortion allows females to do. Like Charles Kirk says, and like I said in plenty of my videos in the past, the fact of the matter is the vast majority of these abortions are due to women that don't want to deal with that consequence, don't want to deal with that issue, caring about, the future, what the future is going to look like, what the family's going to think, this, and a third. And these are all things that come into play. And it's all becoming like a big rush when it comes to like when these things happen, especially in the heat of the moment. And it's and I get it. And I think a lot of it comes in part with the lack of education, the lack of the females needing, understanding that they don't need to find that attention in men, especially at that young age. And also in the case that even if they are older, you shouldn't be giving yourself up to just anybody. And even then, if you do it, then at the end of the day, it's done is done. We're literally just another species on this earth. We are just like the mammals, the sea animals, everything else that procreates. They mate, they have whatever intercourse that they have, and they have babies. That's the primary function of it. It just so happens that as humans, we're able to actually internalize and realize, this is a feeling, this is a good feeling. And it taps into those those chemicals in our bodies that makes us, those dopamines that makes us want it more and more. And not even just for the sex part, but even just for the emotional aspect of it for a lot of females. That's what kind of makes us different from animals, which in some cases is good, some cases is bad. But at the end of the day, there's an understanding that having sex creates babies. So when you get caught in a situation where you have sex and the baby is sitting in your stomach, now you're deciding, oh my gosh, I don't want this baby. Well, then why would you have it in them? And again, I understand situations. Moments, all that good jazz. But once the deed is done and it's there, we really can't be sitting and thinking that we could just get away with this. This is the consequences of your actions. So now you have to live with it. And honestly, that's just the way that things are. I mean, that should be the mindset when it comes to it. Like, there's nothing else that you can just wishfully get away with because of a consequence that you are fully aware would have been a consequence, unless it's just like something that your daddy pays for or whatever. So again, I get that notion, but it really starts with the communication, really having the females really understanding having a baby, having a child, creating that next generation is a serious thing and it shouldn't be taken lightly. The world is allowing you to take it lightly and it shouldn't be taken lightly. And for those that have had abortions, I'm here to say that it is okay. Decisions have been made. What is important is that we learn, that we understand, that we come to terms with it, regardless of the decision that you made, regardless of how you may be feeling mentally. It is okay. Jesus still loves you. God still loves you. He will always love you. All we need to do is just really take our mind and our focus out of this world and out of these things that are causing us to commit such sins, not even just with the abortion, but, more than likely you're having sex with somebody that you're not even married to, or somebody that you don't even plan on being married to. Get these things out of our heads and focus more on God. It's all these worldly things that's just telling us, oh yeah, go and do this. Oh yeah, go and do that. And our fleshly nature that's making us think that these are the things that we want, when these are just temporary satisfactions that come with greater consequences later on down the road. Why would you, not even putting the biblical perspective in it, why would you want to put yourself in that situation? If you're really thinking about it, the temporary satisfactions are not worth it at all. But the other thing I also wanted to point out, and two more things that I wanted to point out. So first thing, when she brought up Matthew about not judging, the people, and I've said this before on my TikTok, people really get that mixed up. The Bible, yes, it says, do not judge lest ye be judged. It doesn't say that we shouldn't judge people. It's not a sin to judge. Judging comes in part of holding each other accountable at a certain degree. When it comes to judging, you need to judge in a matter in which you're also not having issues yourself. Does that mean that you have to be absolutely now? One thing that a lot of people will try to say that, oh, if you got to judge, then you got to be blameless. No, I'm not saying to be 100% blameless. I'm saying that if you have something that you're struggling with, or if you have something that you clearly having issues, sinful nature, sinful behaviors that you're doing, and now you're saying here judging somebody else on their sinful nature, when you clearly have something that you're struggling to get over yourself, then maybe you shouldn't be trying to condemn them of what they've been doing when you got your own stuff that's going on. That's essentially what it means. It says specifically in Matthew, how is it that you can go to your brother who has a little speck in his eye when you yourself have a plank in yours? You can't really hold somebody accountable when you got mad issues that you got going on yourself. That's essentially what it means. Does everybody have their own issues? Yes, this is very much true. But at the same time, we're here trying to help each other grow, trying to guide each other into the light. And that requires a lot of denying the flesh, which is what people don't want to do. Just point blank, period. Interesting topic nonetheless. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Probably some people may not say what they. And y'all let me know how you think about what I said. Let's go with that. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Take it easy. Peace.